Hello and welcome to Napoli with Forza Italian Football. I'm Conor Clancy and I'm here with Nicholas Carroll, and Dov Schiavone is behind the camera.
Hello.
We were at Lazio Roma in the Derby d'Italia. No, not the Derby d'Italia.
No, the Coppa Italia, rather.
The Derby della Capitale in the Coppa Italia.
Yes.
At the Stadio Olimpico last night. And Lazio were defeated 3-2, but they progressed to the final. Lazio are back in the final for the first time in 4 years, and the Ultras were back in the Stadio Olimpico.
Yeah, it was good to have them back. I think it's something that Italian football has been missing for a while. The Stadio Olimpico has been somewhat, I don't know, felt empty,
barren,
soulless almost, I guess you could say. So even just walking up there, the Roma Ultras, the entry we came in, were out in full force, marching through the street, a few flares. It's good to see, I guess.
Yeah, about an hour before kickoff. I remember
Exactly.
me and you both walked in to get a few videos because we were saying you wouldn't get an atmosphere like that in the Premier League during a game, never mind an hour before kickoff. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal, it really was. But I suppose let's talk about the game for a bit. Lazio kind of did their job without being too spectacular. I think one thing we noticed was how impressive Dusan Basta and Jordan Lukaku were. What did you make of their performances?
Yeah, to be honest, particularly Lukaku, I'm not the biggest fan myself, but he seemed to be everywhere in that game.
He tried to be doing his brother's job at
one
one point.
He had a go at striker every now and then. It was either one extreme or the other. He was either right up at front leading the charge almost in front of Ciro Immobile, or tracking back in defence. So he covered a lot of ground, and to his credit, he was quite effective on both ends. So, yeah, really strong.
We had kind of been making the point throughout the game that every time we looked at him, he was in a left winger's position.
Yeah.
And there was one point where he got up the pitch, and he was up so high, and you turned to me and said, he's the furthest player forward.
Yeah.
And I pointed out that the only other player as far forward was Dusan Basta, who was supposed to be the right back.
Yeah.
It kind of showed how vulnerable Roma were. Despite their dominance in the night, really, they left a lot of gaps for Lazio to exploit, and Ciro Immobile took advantage.
Well, that's the thing. Lazio, I mean, if you look at the stats, the possession and all that, you think, oh, Roma dominated the game. But really, I mean, Lazio kind of, they had it all under control, it seemed like to me. They were quite happy to sit back and let Roma cross them in because their centre-backs were just so effective in heading and clearing away, and it gave the likes of Dzeko very little opportunities at goal. So very effective game plan, really, from Simone Inzaghi.
Yeah, absolutely. And even at half-time, Stefan de Vrij went off with, we don't really know why, maybe an injury. It's the only reason we could really think of, because he was performing brilliantly. And Wesley Hoyt came on, and it was just the exact same.
Exact same, yeah. So no change.
But Roma, they've got to be the most frustrating team in Serie A, I think. All their big players, Nangolan, Salah, Dzeko, they weren't at the races at all. Probably Manolas is the only person who gave a respectable performance. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not sure what it is about Roma. It seems to be from the international break, to be honest. I was actually at the Empoli game as well on the weekend, as you know, and it was very much the same. Because with all due respect, because it was Empoli, they got away with it 2-0. It was safe, but they were relatively rubbish, and it was the same against Lazio. They just didn't seem to have it together in attack. Mohamed Salah, who's probably one of the most consistent, and I guess Nangolan, probably the most consistent for them. The passes weren't coming together. It didn't look like they were combining well. And I mean, we saw Nangolan and El Shaarawy having a bit of an argument on the field. It just didn't seem to be coming together. So whether it was the international break, a bit of fatigue, I'm not sure, but it just doesn't seem to be going right.
Yeah, just remember to comment below if you have any thoughts on the Roma-Lazio game or the Napoli-Juve game as well, which by the time this comes out we will have been to probably, but we're just getting ready to go to that later this evening, and that should be
very
a cracker,
excited,
shouldn't it?
Very excited.
Yeah, sticking with this, one of the things that really stood out for me in this game was how much I feel so sorry for Francesco Totti. That's his last chance of getting any sort of title, and me and you again were kind of focusing on him when just before Lazio's second goal went in, he was warming up, he had taken his tracksuit bottoms off, he was ready to come on, and then the goal went in, and he was just doing his stretches against the corner flag, and then, not even exaggerating, for 7 or 8 minutes at least, he just stood there, just motionless,
leaning against the flag, just so somber. It was, I guess, well, at that stage, Roma would have needed 5 goals, I think, in total. Yeah. So it was basically in that moment losing any kind. I mean, unless they miraculously win the Scudetto, which, you know,
we can rule that out.
Yeah, well, there you go. But it just felt bad for him, and you're right. It's no exaggeration. Of the 7 minutes, he was literally standing there, just motionless.
I was motionless just looking at him. I completely forgot the game was going on, and for about 5 minutes I think I sat there just staring at Totti, feeling exactly what he felt. But he's someone that deserves so much more from his career, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a tragedy, isn't it? But I mean, at least he got some success with Italy. He got the one title, I guess. I guess some players do go through their career without winning one, so
at least he's got that one to cling on to, and you say the World Cup isn't a bad.
Of course, and I mean, he'll always be that kind of one club loyal player, so I think that obviously counts for a lot in terms of how people view him.
Yeah, I think that's covered all bases from Roma Lazio. Like we said, Lazio are in the final, and we're off to see who they'll be playing later on tonight. But before we go, let us know what you thought of the game. What did you think? Did Lazio deserve to go through over the 2 legs? And yeah, we'll talk to you again after Napoli-Juve. Ciao for now.
See ya.